And it looked like JuJu Watkins is currently going viral for saying some things about Caitlin Clark.
JuJu Watkins was asked a simple question about Caitlin Clark, but her answer detonated like a bomb in the basketball world. What should have been a harmless exchange instantly ignited what many are calling the start of a new rivalry. In a now viral clip, JuJu gave a brief, almost dismissive compliment toward Clark and then moved on like it was nothing. But that nothing became everything. Within hours, the internet split into chaos. One side accused JuJu of throwing shade, a subtle shot at the sport's current queen. The other side saw it differently, calling it pure confidence, the calm swagger of a future legend who doesn't need to bow to anyone. The reaction was explosive, the debate unstoppable. So what really happened in that interview? Was it a respectful nod to greatness, or the first spark in a battle for basketball's next crown?
Speed. Probably Enrique. Accuracy. Probably Caitlin. Handles. Chelsea. Strength. Brittany Griner. Range. Caitlin. Clutch. I'll probably go 8.
The setting was casual, a lighthearted Sports Illustrated interview built around a simple premise: create the perfect basketball player by borrowing traits from the game's biggest stars. It was meant to be fun, relaxed, harmless, but everything changed when Caitlin Clark's name came up. JuJu Watkins, sitting poised and composed, leaned forward slightly, her gaze sharp and focused, deliberate. Then came her answer: probably Caitlin's handles, she said, a brief pause, her clutch factor too. And then silence. No smile, no follow-up, no polished media flourish, just two precise words delivered with surgical calm. In an era where athletes are trained to speak in long, diplomatic sound bites, JuJu's brevity cut through the noise. It wasn't the response of a fan, it was the response of a competitor. Her tone didn't sound like admiration, it sounded like assessment. And in that moment, the interview stopped feeling lighthearted and started feeling like the beginning of something much bigger. Before the clip even had time to breathe, it was captured, edited, and launched into the chaotic bloodstream of the internet, where it went supernova. On platforms like X and TikTok, it wasn't just watched, it was dissected. Frame by frame, word by word, armchair body language experts slowed it down to 0.25 speed, zooming in on every flicker of JuJu's expression. Vocal analysts broke down her tone like it was courtroom evidence. And in a way, that's exactly what it became. The digital world turned into a trial, and JuJu Watkins was in the defendant's chair. Two factions emerged almost instantly. Team Shade declared her guilty of disrespect, a cold and calculated shot at Caitlin Clark. Team Confidence saw the opposite, a fearless young star who refuses to bow to anyone. Within hours, the debate consumed timelines, memes, edits, think pieces, all of it feeding the frenzy. What started as a lighthearted question had evolved into a full-blown cultural flashpoint, proof of just how deeply invested fans have become in these two extraordinary athletes.
Try to make these battles between like Paige and Caitlin, Paige and JuJu. Guys, we got to separate the basketball from the person. Similarly like YouTube, you got to separate the content from the person. Just because somebody does something a certain way or do something a certain way on the basketball court or in their profession don't make them a bad person.
The accusation that JuJu had been disrespectful quickly became the dominant narrative, and it wasn't born in a vacuum. It was rooted in the unwritten code of sports hierarchy. In the culture of competition, rising stars are expected to pay homage to the legends who came before them, to show deference, respect, even a hint of humility. That's the tradition, that's how you earn your place. And Caitlin Clark isn't just another star. She's the star, the face of a revolution that pulled women's basketball into a new era of mainstream attention. Her name has become synonymous with progress, visibility, and change. So when JuJu's response came off as cold, measured, almost surgical, it wasn't viewed as just a comment. It was interpreted as a statement. Critics argued that her brevity was intentional, a deliberate signal that she didn't see Clark as an untouchable icon but as a rival, a peer, an equal. And in the eyes of many, that subtle defiance crossed the invisible line, the one separating respect from challenge.
Now, there's a lot of players in the country playing Division I basketball. Nobody scored more points in one game this year than you. That's the most.
That's crazy. Yeah. More to come for sure.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark who?
No, don't do that.
Okay.
Don't do that. Much respect there.
However, an equally compelling counter-narrative quickly took shape, one that reframed the entire incident not through the lens of etiquette but through the psychology of competition. From this perspective, JuJu's response wasn't disrespectful at all. It was the purest expression of a championship mindset. The greatest athletes, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Serena Williams, all shared one unshakable belief: you never place anyone on a pedestal. You respect your opponents, but you do not worship them. Every player is an obstacle, not an idol. In that world, excessive praise isn't humility, it's submission. By keeping her comments brief and analytical, JuJu was setting the tone. She wasn't speaking as a fan or an understudy, she was speaking as an equal, as a future rival. It was a quiet declaration that she intended to compete, not conform, and that kind of confidence doesn't come from arrogance. It comes from a lifetime of pressure. JuJu Watkins isn't some overnight sensation. She was a basketball prodigy at Sierra Canyon, a program that plays under a national spotlight where every game feels like a showcase and every move is analyzed. She shared the court with the sons of NBA royalty and still managed to stand out. Her freshman year at USC was nothing short of historic. She shattered records, packed arenas, and became a must-see attraction. Then came another first, becoming the first female athlete to sign with Clutch Sports, the powerhouse agency that represents LeBron James. That partnership didn't just elevate her status, it gave her a blueprint for greatness. Her confidence was forged in elite competition and refined by the most powerful minds in basketball. But what truly defines JuJu's mentality isn't her rise, it's how she responded to the greatest setback of her career, a devastating ACL tear that will sideline her for the entire upcoming season. For most athletes, that kind of injury brings silence, retreat, maybe even doubt. JuJu, she's done the opposite. Her relevance has skyrocketed. Major brands like Nike and State Farm have doubled down on her, betting not just on her skill but on her resilience. Her calm composure through it all has revealed something deeper. Her confidence isn't performative, it's who she is. To understand the magnitude of JuJu's perceived challenge, you have to appreciate the scale of Caitlin Clark's dominance. Clark is more than a superstar, she's a movement. The Caitlin Clark effect is real. Her college games shattered viewership records, often outdrawing the World Series and even the NBA Finals. When she entered the WNBA, she became its economic engine, driving attendance, ticket sales, and global attention to levels the league had never seen. She's not just the best player in the game, she is the game, the face of a revolution, the reigning queen. So when someone like JuJu even hints at challenging that throne, it's not a minor moment, it's seismic. And that's why the media couldn't resist. Sports history has always thrived on rivalry. Magic and Bird saved the NBA. Federer and Nadal defined tennis. Rivalries create drama, emotion, and conversation. So when JuJu's short comment surfaced, it was the perfect spark, raw, ambiguous, and easy to spin. Headlines were crafted to sound like declarations of war. Comment sections became battlefields. The media wasn't just reporting a rivalry, it was building one brick by brick for clicks and ratings. But beyond the noise, the potential matchup between Caitlin Clark and JuJu Watkins is genuinely fascinating because they are opposites in every way. Clark is the offensive supernova, a long-range sniper with fire in her veins, the emotional heartbeat of every game she plays. JuJu is her inverse, calculated, composed, surgical. Her mid-range mastery and footwork draw direct comparisons to Kobe Bryant. Clark is the extrovert performer, JuJu is the quiet assassin. It's passion versus precision, emotion versus ice. The perfect recipe for a legendary rivalry, yet lost in the storm of online debate is something crucial: genuine respect. When JuJu's injury was announced, Caitlin Clark was one of the first to send public support. Behind the scenes, JuJu revealed that Clark reached out personally, offering advice on how to handle the intense spotlight of superstardom. That's not animosity, that's mutual understanding between two generational talents who know what it takes to stand where they do. They may someday battle for dominance, but they already share something rarer: empathy for the weight that only the elite can carry. And in truth, everyone wins here. Whether you saw JuJu's comment as shade or confidence, the firestorm it created was a massive victory for women's basketball. A single short interview clip dominated the sports news cycle for an entire week. That's how far the game has come. The passion, the debate, the emotion, they're all proof of a sport that has fully arrived in the mainstream. Caitlin Clark kicked down the door. Now JuJu Watkins, Paige Buchers, and Angel Reese are storming through it. This new generation isn't just playing the game, they're reshaping it. They're global brands, storytellers, entrepreneurs. Clark and Watkins aren't just athletes, they're CEOs of their own empires. Clark is the relatable record breaker from the heartland. Watkins is the cool, composed West Coast icon. Both are redefining what it means to be a modern athlete. And make no mistake, their eventual collision in the WNBA will be monumental. That first game will be a cultural event. Every move will be dissected. Every glance will trend. Every possession will feel like history. Because this isn't just about basketball, it's about legacy. Clark carries the burden of now, the weight of an entire league on her shoulders. Watkins carries the burden of what's next, the expectation to become the heir. And when those two forces finally meet, the world will be watching. In the end, this isn't just the birth of a rivalry, it's the evolution of women's basketball itself. A new chapter written by fearless, unapologetically ambitious athletes who aren't waiting for permission to be great. So was it shade or confidence? Maybe it was both, because greatness often speaks softly and lets the world do the shouting.